Let's get an update now. There are roadblocks everywhere in KwaZulu-Natal as the province places its attention on public transport safety. Karinda Jagmohan is on the ground and she joins us live now. Karinda, very good morning to you. Tell us about your whereabouts right now. Where are you and what are the latest stats in terms of the road crashes in this festive season? Have there been any thus far?
Good morning to you. Well, I'm currently standing on the R102, which is just heading into KwaZulu or Stenga, that's north of Durban. And since early this morning, the KZN Transport Department has been undertaking these roadblock operations, really focusing their attention on public transport. Since this morning, we've seen dozens of taxis being stopped here. And what really authorities are looking for is, of course, to ensure that there is a safe number of passengers in the vehicle, the roadworthiness of the vehicle, as well as making sure that the vehicle licenses are compliant. We've seen 2 arrests being made already of drivers who are not compliant with the road safety measures. Now, between December 1st and December 19th, we saw 130 fatalities on our roads. Last year, this time, that number was standing at around 159. So, of course, a cause for concern that we are still losing our lives on KZN roads. Now, the roadblocks, rather, are being overseen by the KZN Transport MEC, and we're going to try and speak to him about the issues that his department has been having. You can see right now, some passengers are being taken out of this particular vehicle, so we're going to check what's wrong. MEC, thank you for your time on Newsroom Africa. I see passengers are vacating this particular vehicle. What's happened here?
Yeah, because this vehicle is not roadworthy. It's not supposed to be on the road. And should an accident happen, all these people, RAF is not going to pay for them. So this is why we are saving lives here. As you would know, in KZN, we have a lot of carnages in our roads and a lot of fatalities. As a result, we are here in this operation to try and clamp down on that. And already we have pounded a number of vehicles that have got licenses that are expired, that have got discs belonging to small vehicles, that have got number plates that are belonging to the tractors. So all of those things, it tells you that people are not at least complying with the road regulations.
MEC, this is obviously a concern because especially in our province, we've seen at least 56 people perish in those 4 major accidents, Escort, Pietermaritzburg, Ulundi, where up to 16 people died in those accidents. How else are you clamping down in this particular industry? Because in all of those accidents, there were taxis involved and people lost their lives.
Well, not only all these areas that you're counting on. Here in KwaZulu, 7 people perished on this road because of vehicles that are not roadworthy. And we are trying to say to people, this time is this time. We don't want to see these people dying on our road every time and every day. We want to avoid that. And we are here with the national minister to try and clamp on that one.
MEC, tell me about the continuous projects with these roadblocks, because I know that specifically in the Road Traffic Inspectorate Department, there are over 200 vacant positions there. I've seen that you're unable to run a 24-hour shift. So how does the department then plan to ensure that we can have these continuous roadblocks over the festive season when there's concern for drinking and driving?
It is not only RTI that is going to be on this. As you would know, that we have launched an integrated strategy to deal with the road carnages. We have SAPS here, we've got National Traffic Directorate, we've got everybody. So we put our heads together. That we are short of members on the ground, it doesn't mean we are going to fail in our duties to protect the lives of the people. But coming back to your question specifically, we are in the process of filling up those positions in the department so that we are not thin on the ground.
And then just further to that, of course, a message directly to the viewers about what they need to do on our roads during this time to avoid the high numbers of fatalities that we usually see in this festive season.
Well, firstly, it is up to the people that are driving vehicles. Motorists, pedestrians, they must also make sure they get into a vehicle that is roadworthy. This vehicle that we are seeing now, where we have been taking people out, you see it coming that this vehicle is not roadworthy, but it is carrying passengers in and out of the area, which is very dangerous to the lives of the people. This that we are doing today, we are trying to say, if the vehicle is not on the road, if the driver does not have the license, we're going to arrest. And KZN must be a free accident zone.
Thank you very much. Well, KZN Transport MEC Bheki Ntuli just speaking to us as he undertakes these roadblock operations, looking at one vehicle specifically. For example, this taxi, obviously not a roadworthy taxi. We can take a look inside here. But the law enforcement authorities have found several issues with this, and we understand that the driver now has been taken in for questioning. Of course, the passengers need to find another way home for them. They stepped on this taxi early this morning, needing to go to work. But the issue is that we have vehicles like this one that are not worthy enough to be on our roads, and that's why we are seeing these high number of fatalities. Just a reminder that much earlier this year, between the months of September and November, we saw 56 lives lost on KZN roads. This in just a span of 4 accidents, where we saw at least 13 people perishing in that accident at a time. So of course these roadblocks are really necessary in this year, as we are seeing these high number of fatalities, and we are trying to save these lives this time. We'll bring you more stories from this particular roadblock and others as we continue following the KZN transport team today.
Yeah, Karinda Jagmohan, perhaps just briefly before I let you go, I know that the MEC has already, you've already let him go, but what exactly is the problem with that particular taxi?
From what we understand, this taxi is not roadworthy to be on the vehicle, and this is looking at, for example, the wheels of this taxi, where the threading here has diminished, as well as just looking at the state of the taxi inside. Law enforcement authorities have also checked the engine of this vehicle, and they say for this reason this vehicle is not worthy to be on the road and could potentially cause an accident and harm those who were traveling in this taxi. We've seen several others being impounded in this particular state, as well as we've seen the arrest of drivers whose license discs were not in accordance, or it really seemed fraudulent at the time. They've been taken in for questioning as police continue to investigate those. So this is not the only roadblock that has been undertaken in KwaZulu-Natal. It's the specific one we've come to. We understand that those roadblocks are happening across the province, but my question really to the MEC was, do we have enough really law enforcement authority or contingent of officers to carry out this plan, because of the vacant positions sitting already in, for example, the road traffic management, the road traffic inspectorate department currently. So those are the issues we're looking into, as to whether or not the department has the capacity to undertake these roadblocks as they're doing here today, and for how long they will last over the festive season, to ensure that ultimately the lives of those traveling on the roads will be safe here in KwaZulu-Natal.
Karinda Jagmohan, thank you very much for that update live for us on the road. And to be exact, she is in the area of KwaDuguza, and that's where that taxi was taken off the road. And I remember the police minister at some point, I think he was the commissioner of the police at the time, describing what he said at the time was coffins on wheels. And I wonder whether that taxi fits that description.